My students really enjoy when we use this classroom. Yes, we have an array. Welcome to tonight's meeting for the month of the sweltering June meeting in the heat dome. I'm actually surprised the AC's on because this is pretty much the last couple of days of the semester and they try to save money. So I'm very happy that yeah. Well, I think last year we were here in June and it was a little warmer than we had intended. So welcome. This will be the same room for next month. And I'm hoping for August, but we won't know that for a little bit yet. So welcome to our June meeting. We don't really have any special events planned. We discussed a little bit with regards to the meeting. I think we'll just have a bit of a open top discussion about stuff. We will be bringing up our show coming up next year, and we've got nationals coming up. So to start it all off, as far as IPMS national goes, we did not hold a meeting for the month of June, mostly because 3/4 of the executive couldn't be here. Yes? You dropped your keys. Yeah. The executive wasn't there, so nothing much to report. Quite a few of us from the executive will be at IPMS nationals. Besides, I know Carrie's going. Duncan, I saw your name. Bill, anyone else? Larry's going, yeah. And
Bueller.
You're going? Perfect. Keep an eye on your BT. We're planning a Canadian embassy in the fine tradition of Wonderfest. It's going to be at the Embassy West bar on the Wednesday night, around 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock-ish. Our CML will be posting that in BT. It'll be coming out in the BT. So we just kind of arranged for that. That's Beaver Tails. Or if you're a man of a certain age, it's Bottle Toast. You remember those? And Duncan does. So thank you. Beaver Tails is the newsletter from IPMS Canada. So the only reason I know some people are going, not creeping you yet, Duncan, it's to register for nationals. If you're not an IPMS member, you have to pay extra, but members from all around the world show up. So they always ask you, what's your affiliation? And sometimes it's cheaper to say, oh, I'm with Canada and pay the flat rate and get away with not paying the extra charge for being a member. So your kids? Yeah.
No problem at all. I heard the
Oh. You didn't have any problems, Carrie, registering? Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
And I think they're using QR codes, so they'll be scanned, so it's good. Yeah. I was talking to the guy, the show chair, and they're at 1,060, he told me, entrants. That's pre-registered. That's not the God knows how many walk-ins will show up. So he said he just wanted to do a good show. He didn't want to push the Atlanta record, but this could be, hey, Jeff Hearn, yeah, this could be the largest show we've seen in a long time. 448 vendor tables. It's Madison, Wisconsin, just a little bit next to the Republican National Convention, which will be happening at the same time. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, the RNC is being held in Milwaukee. So it should be fun, but yeah, it's over 1,000 registered. That's not like kits. That's 1,060 people are registered to bring in something. So looks pretty cool. So if you're going and you're a national member, you'll be updated in our newsletter about the meet and greet. So hope to see you there. I know I'll be there. We're going to have a 3-party summit. IPMS Canada, Mexico, and the USA presidents are going to sit down and break cerveza, and we'll see how that goes. So it should be fun.
Yeah. Summit.
What the what?
Three amigos.
Yeah, well, it was like the little amigos, right? The the Plastic Amigos. So really from the national, that's all we've got. Next up for our agenda, really, we need to start talking about our show because it's 1 year from basically around this time. It's a week after, 2 weeks after Wonderfest. So we've had some people step up, but I'll let Stuart run with this part of our shoe.
Okay, so since I'm the guy that does the back end and has to set up email accounts and that, raise your hands who's interested in helping on the committee. Nice and high. All right. Did we get a list of these people?
No, well,
All right,
keep your hands up.
keep your hands up so Jeff can get it because I got to get email addresses added. Dawson was, yeah. Okay, which one of you wonderful people is interested in being show chair? We need a show chair. No, keep the hands up for Jeff's.
Keep the hands up. I want to see lots of.
Okay, because you know, you will get help. And I'm hoping we will have more volunteers to make phone calls and that in addition to the 5 or 6 people that are there. Okay, I'm going to be really busy this year, so I'm not going to be able to help as much. But I will take care of the technology on the back end. So
Taking care of facilities, holding it here again, good spot. I'll make sure that's all taken care of for us. Logistics.
but basically show chair helps herd the cats. Basically, and we really need someone to do that, kind of coordinate when we're going to have meetings, things like that. I would, but with my wife's health issues, I just don't have the time. I don't have the bandwidth. So who's interested in stepping up? All right, did Dawson mention anything? No, nice try. Did anyone hear from Dawson?
He didn't. But we
Right.
can check it out.
That aren't here.
Yeah, so, okay, we will give it 1 more month. We're gonna send an email out as well.
Yeah.
Okay, because we need a show chair to start. And then we need someone, you know, we need basically chairs in charge of sponsorships, the contest, stuff like that. Adam, are you gonna be chief judge again? Are you gonna be chief judge again? Okay. Now, we are gonna go to the 1, 2, 3 open format. Well, you're gonna read all about it, so. I know. It's amps. It's like amps. Gold, silver, bronze. Okay, but you'll still help Corel? Okay,
I think we'll probably end up, I'll get it to you, but I think probably going to do is use XCON rules, not the AMP rules for judging. And I think we're going to probably look at the chief judge, have a team of 3 or 4 people that know their stuff and just get them to start judging as kids come in. And that's what they do.
yeah, and again, we'll probably have the meeting, 1 or 2 meetings before the show. We'll do a demo and we'll make sure everyone's
Help with them.
familiar with it.
Done PSBs. It's just
Okay.
AMPS does it, but XCON, they're a miniature show and they did PSB, and so far the consensus down south is that it went really well and their rule setup is really good. Easy and fast.
Yeah. The other thing I'm going to look at, and again, I'm waiting to hear what happens at NATS with their registration system and various other shows. We might look at a more electronic registration system. If we can get registrations done in advance, it really helps. QR codes, etc. I've got equipment, just a matter of getting the right system.
We're shopping for that stuff and then we have money in the kitty for it. That'll be an expense. So I mean, it's a one-time expense, really. We'll get some software. Torcan did it. It went really well with Torcan. I know Mike was with me and Kevin was there too. The Torcan was easy. AMPS did the same. AMPS was brilliant. I mean, it's only one genre of model, so it's really fast to enter. AMPS entry forms went really well. Electronic, no issue. And I'm going to be registering my kids on Monday, so I have experience with IPMS, but yeah, we're looking at that. So whoever gets voted Dawson for show chair will probably have a lot.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And so, you know, don't be afraid of volunteering. The more people we get, the less time it takes. It really helps.
And also CapCon 2025 is October 18th.
Okay.
So even IPMS Ottawa pushed their show. Although Torcan hasn't announced a September date because they sat right in the middle of the month. Autumn is theirs as well. That's their.
Okay, so the other thing we want to start thinking about, it's 2025 next year. Any ideas for themes off the top of anyone's head right now?
Theme.
Themes. Themes for end of which war? 80th anniversary, okay, that's one. That's true. Yep. So give it some thought for next meeting or throw it on the IPMS London Facebook page. We'll be happy to do that as well. So that's the main thing. We really want, and if those of you who haven't volunteered, give it some thought. Like I say, the more the merrier. It doesn't, a lot of it's already defined, written down. It's just a matter of getting out there, making some calls or, you know, checking in with people, stuff like that.
Biggest job is the
Sponsorship.
I did it alone. Did a call. Get two of you to do that.
All right, so what I've done is Jeff collected email addresses. So you will get an email from me in the month giving you, if you already don't have access to the Google Drive where the show documents will be 2020. So just expect that. Because we do everything electronically and we meet via Zoom. Just FYI, we find that works really well. Okay, any questions? Crickets, crickets, I say, crickets.
Well, that's because you explained it. so
You
well.
explained it
must
so
have
well.
explained it so well.
Nothing really. Thanks, Bill. Bill Dawson volunteered. All right, the table, le tableau. Did you take pictures?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm- Roughdale's having a sale. Did you go? Did anyone go?
I went.
And
I went. So basically, he's got, it's gonna be a sliding scale as you go through the month. So the first 2 weeks, I think everything's 5%. He's got the shelves to the left with a lot of railroad stuff and some kits. Basically, if you buy one thing, you get 10% off, two things, 20% off, et cetera, et cetera. You know, fair range of things. I know I saw Carrie there on Monday. You ended up getting something. So, you know, have a look. Oh yeah, here we go. From the website, half cut off. So basically from June 17th to the 29th, store-wide savings, $0 to $100, you get 5% off. 100 to 500. This week it's 10%. Next week it's 15. The week after it's 20, et cetera, et cetera. The kit trove, you know, the one on the right, the old 70-second stash, buy two, get one free. If you want to buy a used train, buy two, get one. He's got a lot of old catalogs, not included paint and finishing supplies. They're basically trying to get down the inventory for now. There is rumors there will be a new buyer, but nothing confirmed. So, because it's not a going out of business sale. So that's what I'm assuming. Not you. It's not Frank. And Frank is not buying the store. Chantel says no.
His wife.
You said, yeah.
Okay, maybe
Or a
Ed's,
week later.
Ed, are you buying the store?
I'm retired, thanks.
You're retired? Okay, we just thought we'd check. Yeah, perfect retirement plan. You know the old story. How to become a millionaire? You're a
Yeah.
billionaire and you start a hobby store.
That's right.
That's right. All right, let me see if these are, let me.
I did actually think of buying the store. We were in some serious financial discussions, my wife and I, and then. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's like with all the pictures. Yeah. Everybody.
Oh, and- but we crunch numbers, like legit, like my wife's like, yeah, if you make this much of an offer. No. Oh, we're starting? We're good? Okay, all right, so, I'll kill one set of lights. First kit is Yeah, it's, you can see it all around them, is mine. So this is my entry, probably one of several to the way I build for our summer build time. So I started this one to see if I really did have a head injury. Apparently I do, because I picked this kit. This is an Academy 135th scale M113. It's just called Vietnam War is what the kit's called. So it's an M113 and it's been upgunned. It's got a 106 recoilless and then a couple of M60s. So I really like Academy M113s. They make a bunch of them. They're great kits. Fits okay, a lot of punch marks. I just made this one out of the box. I did fill the interior up with the usual volume of bric-a-brac one would see in one of these. I got to drive around in one of these a lot because that's what my dad's unit had. And what better way to keep a kid occupied than, go for a ride in an APC every once in a while. Although my dad did use it to fix the bumper on our Chevy. He hit a car hit us in Halden when he got back to base. He called Bruno, his corporal, who was a really good operator, and Bruno straightened the bumper on the 77 Bel Air by pulling it on a chain from a 113. So it was kind of cool to watch. He did a good job. This kit is nice. The decals are horrific, trauma-inducing, suck. They're thicker than wallpaper. I should have sanded them down. I didn't. I plead the fifth. But once they settled down, I mean, they came out better than I expected. Like, I mean, there's 3 coats of gloss, then the decals, then more gloss, and then 3 coats of flat on top of that, and then the weathering material. And you can still see some of the silvering. So, but it's an Academy kit, and you take your chances with at least with the vehicle decals. I made a little wall out of cork and AK cement, just a little scene. One thing I've noticed, if anyone wants to go into a show, like going to the AMP show, I've noticed a base seems to make all the difference now, especially with judging. One of the little tips I've seen is if you want your kit to stand out a little bit more, put it on something, anything. Yeah, exactly. A flat of beer would be good too. But even a picture frame with some, with some felt cloth on it just to make it stand out. But by setting up in a scene, it definitely can have an impact on the overall build, and sometimes it may make some deficiencies less apparent. Anyway, that was mine. Great kit. I think I built it. Took a couple weeks, but it was nice. And next is Petey Popedi. I'm coming. Hasagawa 135th scale.
Fireball SG. It's a space unit, armor fighting suit. Although I didn't realize it was a space unit until afterwards. But I like the little scheme in that. Oh, you didn't get the picture of the smile. Yeah. That's 135th. 135th. Yeah. They wasn't a bad kit. It was Hasagawa, somewhat older. Had scene work to do. Like let's put the scene right down the middle of the big body, and the little radome on the top was the biggest pain in the neck because it hit smartly at the radar for connection, but all they did was left you a big hole, a little hole in the hull, and it was just a hole and nowhere to actually put the stem into. So trying to get it, you could adjust the height on it, but the only support was right where it joins. So you're basically having to glue it as you're holding it. But that's a nice detail, and it was enjoyable. And I got more on the way. And that is the old Dogram series called Dogram, what's known as a Bigfoot, the brand new 72nd scale Mordoroid kit. For BattleTech people, it's known as the Battle Master. And it was a real nice kit. I didn't want to go with the paint scheme that it comes in. because quite frankly, I didn't want a light gray, purple mech. Well, more violet. But there's lots of weapons options for it. Fit was real great for the most part. But I've noticed with some motorized kits, including this one, when you're doing the assemblies, sometimes it's best not to do it in the order they say, because their tolerances are real tight in areas. Yeah, especially at the hip joint, at the upper leg. I wound up putting that to the hip instead of doing it, as they say, do the whole leg and then put it on. Not gonna happen. But it was still a nice, enjoyable kit. I used the Gundam mark decals on it, and I painted it up like my Inner Spear Merc colors, and quite happy with it.
No. Oh, no. But no. Next.
Who indeed? This is the second in my Thunderbolt trilogy. Last month I had my British one. This is my American representative, Natural Metal. If those of you remember my masking demonstration I did a few months back, I highlighted some challenges in fixing paint pulling when you're masking. This airplane featured prominently as in the process of painting this, I learned about Gunzi metallic paints, and I learned that there's metallic paint and there's buffable paint. And the modeling tip for tonight is never put the buffable paint down as the base coat. When you mask over top of it, buffable seems to not want to allow the paint top of it to stick. So I pulled huge chunks of silver off in various places. Said very many disparaging words, but I persevered and repaired and carried forward. Do like the Gunzi metallics; they're very nice paints. And in a bit of stupidity or vanity, I don't know what it is, I decided I would rivet the entire airplane. So it was my first attempt at riveting an aircraft. I know, of course. I've not been the same since. Yeah, riveting actually, once you start doing it, it's surprisingly enjoyable because it's on a grid pattern. See,
Like tracks.
So did you use the little punch or did you?
I used the rivet wheel, and what I did is I took two pieces of electrical tape on top of each other, and then put them on a piece of Tamiya tape. So then you cut your strips about 1/4 of an inch wide, so the tape doesn't wiggle, but there's enough of an edge that you can set it on and run the wheel along and provide it with a basically a support so it doesn't wobble or move out of. It will, if you're not paying attention, it will ride up onto the tape. The tape is soft, but I found work on bottom areas first, so your screw ups aren't as noticeable, and then go to Main Street when you finally get your technique down. It only took me about 8 hours to rivet the whole thing, so for what that is worth. I used the insignia is painted on, but the individual markings are from a decal sheet that came with a book on the 56 Fighter Group last year. And I kind of like the Heavenly Body, or Homesick Angel, sorry, on the side of it, considering that the Thunderbolt was a rather portly aircraft to start with. I added an instrument panel Don gave me, Yahoo, to it. I put my own wiring on the engine, and then I modified the wing tanks. The wing tanks, actually, there's only one of them usually on the center line, so I was fortunate to get photos of an actual mounting to figure out how it works. So I added that as well. So that's Thunderbolt number 2, and not next month because we're all going to be drinking beer in Wisconsin, but in August I hope to have the final of the trilogy. Hopefully not like Mr. Jackson. I'll make 2 prints out.
I've seen guys, they're now taking the solder balls and riveting with solder balls.
Well, the fellow that Carrie and I met, and he does something similar. He punches out a plastic like, and he said it's.
You from Duke's Models is doing a 30-second scale, 5,000 solder. Maybe that's your next. Next is Mr. Hill.
For the past few months, I've been attending the Ron School of Diorama Making, and I presented him, my memory may be big here, but I presented with an idea. The first one I want to do is just a field with a couple of airplanes in it. And he went, oh, no, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this, make it look good. All right. And we went through the steps, and I was absolutely amazed. Every evening we spent together where, like, the grass, he would put down some glue and sprinkle some green shit on top of it. Oh, damn, looks like grass. Then pass the stuff over and say, here, go for it. I had fun doing that. Sprinkle some dirt down for the pathways. Made a fence out of
Yeah, that was just
veneer, wasn't it?
veneer
Yeah.
and
Toothpicks.
toothpick.
Yeah. And the little outhouse, outbuilding, sorry, he printed up. And I laughed at myself a couple of evenings when I was painting that, because I wanted to make it look like crap, like an old outbuilding of a farm. I had to keep telling myself, no, don't worry if it doesn't look good. It's not a straight line. Just slap the paint on, have fun, go for it. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And all then got some barrels out there that were printed, some boxes. Yeah. No, because I have the you may have seen the post of the concrete apron. Gonna be in next month. Yeah, it's been a tremendous learning experience.
Student of the wrong.
I think you bought a static grass hat.
Oh, I saw it. You get it off Amazon? Yeah. Yeah, I actually had a book, you get 20 bucks. Mike D.
Thank you. All right, this is not just a bridge. 10 years ago, when I used to be really into model railroading, I got invited to go to Milwaukee and demonstrate with the Niagara Frontier Group from Ontario here. So 20 of us would go for 4 days to a big train fest show and put on clinics and demonstrate and everything else. So the guy that ran it told me, Mike, you can do anything you want, but I do boxcars. So I thought, I don't really get it, but whatever. So I was spending a lot of time at Niagara on the Lake at the time with my scouts, and I drove by this bridge every time I went down there. So this is the Montrose Swing Bridge down there by Niagara on the Lake. So a couple of times I went out there, I measured it, I photographed it, did everything I could do. And inside the folder there underneath the bridge is all my resource material. And then there's a company called Central Valley that makes big truss bridges like this in the right scale. So I ended up with 2 or 3 of those kits to do this one. The idea of having just one side of it and the tower was, it doesn't go on my own layout. It was strictly for a build project and to demonstrate. Because if you build the other side, part of building the bridge was to demonstrate how to move it. So I had to build a box underneath the table to keep my resource in it and how to transport it. So it was all fun. It took me a long time until I decided to get in and weather it and do that. It's a combination of styrene and a little bit of wood, balsa wood or basswood in the bridge deck there. So it was fun, a lot of fun. The hardest part probably, although I went and photographed it, measured it and everything, was finding resources for the actual tower in the middle. And that goes way back. And the last time I was down there, it was still live. It doesn't swing anymore, but it's still live.
This is the Tamiya 48 scale P51D. It is done up in Captain Richard Turner's markings, Hurry Home. Oh, sorry, not Hurry Home, honey. Short Fuse Sally. That was his girlfriend at the time. Apparently she had a temper. Later in the war, his aircraft became short fused because Sally was no longer in the picture. The kit, typical Tamiya, very nice. It's from the 90s. There are some issues
If you look closely, those are mine, not the kits. This was on my shelf of doom for a very long time, and then when Edward announced their P51B, I thought I needed to get this off the shelf and finished. So I haven't got the Edward kit, so technically I've met the deadline. Nice kit, I enjoyed it.
Next up,
Oh, that's me. You guys hear me okay? Hi, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you good.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah.
Sing
so-
to us.
Okay. Monogram, Tarantula, Dragster. My first time I've made a car. A lot of fun. 66 parts, so it's not very difficult or challenging. Fit was pretty good except for the windshield. And overall, I enjoyed it. Next time I'll put more detail, spark plugs and stuff like that. But enjoyable build. So my next kit may be a 600 kit, 600 part Hummel by Dragon. So a little more challenging.
Go for it.
Wait to see that.
Yeah.
I know. Looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
Well, it's in 170.
Yeah, this is my 1-year build. This is 5 T-34 tanks. I'm going to get up and do a walkabout for this one. Yeah, so the front one, you got it on the right one there. That's the Fujimi. That's the oldest one of the crew. That's a 1980s vintage kit, and I'm pretty sure I've had it since then. It was pure and simple. Very little flash, very easy to put together. The rubber tracks held up nicely. They had lots of play. A little bit less detail than a modern kit, but very easy to put together. And it was really nice to do one of these old kits. The next one is the Mine Roller kit. The C model T-34 with a mine roller. This kit here could be done up. I've made this one up. I'm gonna actually here. Where's the camera? All right. I've made this one up here so that the mine roller is completely removable by the pull of your finger, and it's held in there with just a couple of angle iron, like a couple of plastic card angles, and then a piece of plastic card I-beam there, just glued onto the bottom so that I can use that as a standard T-34-76C or one with a mine roller. And I've also affixed, in place of the regular hull machine gun mount, it's got the flamethrower mount there instead. So it could be used as a PT-43 flamethrower as well, which is great because when I was building the first T-34, the Fujimi one, I lost the hull machine gun to the floor monster. So I'm like, oh, well, I can use that one on there. It's perfect. That had Lincoln length tracks, which are a pain in the butt. They're my least favorite thing to do. And lots of flash, just a ton of flash. These Eastern Express kits are just a pile of junk, but you can, they've got a lot of subject matter that isn't readily available in this scale. So that's why I have a whack of them. The Dragon kits, one of them is a T-34B model, and then the other two are C models. These are really nice kits, lots of great detail, very little flash to clean up, lots of interior detail. I've done 2 of these kits up with the driver's hatch open, and you can actually see a driver inside. Every single one of them, except for the mine roller, has a figure, a commander figure, and 2 of them have driver figures. The mine roller one, the hatch would have been too difficult to try and open up. I would have had to cut it open. And I'm like, well, forget that. And it's a mine clearing tank or a flamethrower tank. It's probably going to be hatches down anyway. The only problem with the Dragon tanks was they have rubber tracks, which are great, except they didn't hold up so well. And as soon as I was done painting them, 2 of them broke and I had to glue them back together. The old Fujimi tracks, they're still cruising along and I don't think they'll ever break. So yeah, they turned out really good. Weathering turned out nicely. The commanders turned out good. They all have an unditching log, which is standard equipment for any Soviet tank of this era, or any era for that matter. As a matter of fact, they seem to have more wood attached to them nowadays. Yeah, so that's my 5 T-34s, and I think they're awesome. Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, and what tour?
All right, there we go. Your turn to shine, little dancer.
All right, it's been a while since I brought a completed kit. There's been a lot going on at home, so I haven't had a lot of build time. I got this a couple years ago for my birthday from Lee. That's the MPC California Sunshine Custom Show Truck Kit from the mid 70s. It's supposed to be that, anyways. It's not. It's the Datsun 510 kit that they put some IMSA flares on and made some decals for that look like the California Sunshine, but aren't quite right. The decals don't fit the flares. I did a pre-test by scanning it and doing it digitally, and nothing fits. The flares are the wrong shape because the real truck is longer and lower than this, and it was an MPC, so it was a giant pain in the ass to get this thing to even want to go together. I almost gave up on it lots, but I'd always wanted the kit, so I thought, okay, what can I do with it that's not California Sunshine? And I worked on the chassis and put the flares on while I tried to figure it out. That occurred to me. I'm like, what has flares like this? I'm like, wait a minute. A Super Valkyrie has flares like that. All right, that's cool. So I thought, okay, I'm going to paint it up like an homage truck for one of the Valkyries from the 1984 movie. I figured I'd finish it this year, so I got that right for the 40th anniversary of the movie. So it's white like the Skull 1 VF1S with the black and yellow trim, the dark blue style movie packs on it. And then this kit's a hybrid because I also have the reissue kit that MPC Brown 2, whoever you want to call them, put out a couple years ago. And thank God I had that because it had the nice tonneau cover and those vertical exhaust pipes, which really make the kit nice and 70s. And they also had the much better pad printed tires and wheels. The original wheels and tires suffer that MPC, hey, I should stick out 5 miles beyond the body and look really dumb doing it. I don't know why they had such a fetish for that, but man, they sure did. So the new tires fit on there just great. They look fantastic. Overall, fit was decent on the flares, but putting it together was less great. The interior, if you look, you'll see it's on an angle. It just won't fit straight, just doesn't. And there's a lot of bending and twisting and oopsing that went on at the end just to force the darn thing to look right. But by and large, now that it's done, I'm more or less pleased with it. I used some old Valkyrie decals from a 1984 summer edition kit. I'd lost the decals I was originally going to use. And then I found them when I was done, because of course I did. But it still does the job. And it took way more time than it should. It's not a complicated kit. It's not a complicated paint job. It just didn't want to work. But now that it's done, it looks great on the shelf. Most people will look at it and not know quite what I was going for, but that's okay. I didn't build it for them. And if you ever see one of those California Sunshine kids, run the hell away because it's terrible. It just won't work the way you think it will. Well, I mean, it was awesome. I'm glad to have it. But you know, when you get an MPC, you're really just getting headaches in a box.
I was just looking where Kevin had slid to.
And the 148 Mustang, this is the D model. This one's a work in progress. It's not quite complete yet. And then I have the other one beside it. I entered it last year at the show here in London. That one's done, but just looking forward to learning more with the second one and the third, the fourth. I've got a couple more in the stash as well. But excellent kit if anybody's looking at building Mustangs from Tamiya. Again, either the B model or the D models are amazing kits. And again, just for those going to the show, just wanted to make this note as well for the Nats, Oshkosh, Wisconsin. The week after the Nationals is the big aviation and air show in Wisconsin. So if you're finishing up in Madison, then head over to EAA for the Oshkosh show. So if you want to look at some warbirds and a lot of aircraft, it's the place to be.
That's it. All right. We're going to take a pause for the cause.
We do have,
Yes, prizes.
through the generosity of several of them, a number of additional prizes. For example, Greg got in a whole bunch of protect that he really doesn't want to give up. He used it constantly, but his wife keeps bringing them home, so he's donated them to our cause. Terry brought in a fine scale modeler magazine, so we're going to throw a couple of protect groups with the fine scale.
Hold on a second.
AK Interactive
active naval camouflage set paint. Regular price $27, I'll say, for everyone, plus a couple of bags. Terry also brought in Mr. Color modulation set, Russian green version. Very nice. Never been touched, but Terry doesn't want to touch it. With another pipette. So we got those three things. So we're actually gonna do 4 draws.
Yeah.
4 draws. A good meeting to come.
No, good, because you'll win, you bastard. So we'll take a break for 15, 20. Smoke them if you got them, Ed.
Already am.
Oh, Bill's the guy over here.
I see you gave him a couple milk cans.
Right.
I like
That's fine, don't worry. Oh, yeah. Well, hang on to it. Can't bring it in. Beautiful sunny day. Mine would never be a lot bigger than that. Yeah. So I feel that never actually. Yeah. Oh, all my reference. That boy is now. That boy is.
I think the awesomest thing I've ever seen. Academy. But it's so terrible. I think God like belongs, but little tiny. Just leave them, like all of them along. Especially the. Thanks for Lamont, Bill. I thought it was an academy, but it's like the word. And it comes with a dude with like full race in here. Like, what are you doing after a knock up of the day? Then I follow.
Put the crap down. There's a long. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was 35. They remind me a lot of the,
That's what I want too. I expected that. Yeah, Vern on scale 3D. He's got. Two breeders. I suspect you've written on it. Like, I just did. Like, I'm not really. I usually get one. My. Yep. And I like. I haven't put it up against my old. Yeah. Hey, good morning. You want to go out? Here. Yeah, by that. Yeah. But I. Don't really worry. I mean, I know it's like, but I wasn't, we have. I don't want to do it like in the old world. But I do go my old email. Desert camel. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it yet. Okay. I got like, no, it's the only one that I was. It was weird. So I'm gonna have like an outside group. Just 100 guys instead of 5. Well, yeah. I will provide something. I'm not here. Fire. I have no hand. Well, they'll definitely. I'm gonna. Yeah. I might have $27. I know where you live. Next fire, it's gonna be the first Thursday of September. We're taking a little summer hiatus because everybody's kind of busy, so you guys know it's gonna be, what is it? The first Thursday. Bring something to build, come and hang out. I gotta go, I got an 8:30 flight.
All right. Right here. So we were on the. We were talking about using electronic freight. Greg,
Yeah.
right? And then people were going, well, how are you gonna charge it on the table? And someone pointed out this, I have never seen this for a Ryobi battery. You know your Ryobi cordless battery?
Yeah.
Right? Well, you can get a USB thing. You plug that, plug 2 USBs. How genius is that? How
Brilliant.
come I haven't known about this?
You don't know these things.
Why did I not
Um,
sign up for you?
On behalf of the group, I apologize for you sitting through Todd Barber's medical history.
Oh, that's okay. I figured that. I
He's
didn't know
gone,
that.
they kicked him out of the.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay.
So he's got some serious social issues. And we kept him around because he was a sad part old guy, right, sort of thing. Like, he was just, he was annoying everyone. And actually, I was, and Rob Adams and I dealt with him for 3 years before that on our. So we had 4 or 5 years with this guy. And it was like, and everyone was done. We have people who won't come in if he's there.
Oh, dear.
The only one that was like, Rob was like, come on, let him stay, right?
Yeah.
Until he actually tried him off on a Facebook post.
Oh, no.
And so we pointed it out, and I'm like, the one guy that
You don't want to
defend him.
Yeah.
Well, no, but it's not something, he protects you.
But if you wrote it behind those house.
So we threw him out.
Have you seen this? You know how you get your rail before the shot?
We had to show it
Back, flip to, we'll see. What you have for time. The USB. Yeah. I've never seen that. We were talking about it. We were talking about like, people, how they have brag books with their bills. Well, people, they want to keep a digital print.
Yeah.
If it's USB, you get one of those. You just got your little round battery.
Plug it on. I got about 10 of those things.
Well, I got 4. I just picked up the trim. I found out the Ryobi, the new Ryobi one is compatible with my batteries.
Yeah.
So I got just the trimmer. It's light as can be, so I can.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's even better.
That could be handy.
Frank,
Oh, Frank.
Frank,
Yes, my friend.
did I overhear you say you threw out naked Todd?
Yeah, we got rid of him out of the Discord.
What happened?
He basically went on a post on our Model Insanity page and excoriated Rob Ribb.
Oh, really?
The last person that was like defending him to stay in the group
Right.
was sympathetic, and he had done that because actually, with this concussion about a month ago, I left the room real quick because I was on the verge of ripping him a new one.
Oh, yeah?
And he had I had my last straw with him, so I'm glad I didn't, but yeah, he said some mean things about Rob for no reason.
Oh, yeah?
We kicked him off and out of everything, like MMU, our chat group, everything. He's just gone.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah, and then he's still posting weird pictures of himself like Japanese anime women and stuff, so
Oh, yeah?
yeah, it's just, he tried to be nice and help out some of the more idiosyncratic members of the group, but that was just, it's too far.
Yeah, for sure.
So now
Thanks.
people are staying with us.
Okay.
Our second one, we had another guy, Matt Kidder. He would just tell lies. He told us he was a Coast Guard rescue swimmer. And so then he sent a video. He says it's on YouTube. It's a video of me and this girl that he worked with on the chopper jumping out in Lake Superior doing a training rescue. So I watched the video, which was from the Coast Guard. It was a rescue training video. And it was off the coast of California. And it was wrong date. And on and on and on, right? So, yeah, he just
Make him pro.
I like what you're doing.
You talking to me?
Oh.
Ships you've done ships before,
I've done it.
but they're fun, aren't they?
The thing about this one, I've got a really good, just like Santa. I get worried near the end. So, you have an F-22. 172nd, I got carried on.
Yeah.
It'll be a CF-22.
That, if it wasn't for me walking around with some medical issues, I think I would have done a bit of a better job on the half track. It was just the decals were a little, but
That's good. And look at it this way. Those are lost in the back. Look, you guys look.
actually, you want to laugh, that Tiger I'm working on, because I did most of the interior. What I like is it has mass now. So like, it won't move around too much. Like me, as Ed would say, the King Tiger's like Frank, it's got mass.
Yeah, okay.
I know, he wants to talk about it. Because that will take up quite a voluminous amount of time. With who? I did the Legion with him 1 year. Right, I did the display with him.
That was the. Historical reference map. Very nice guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did the Legion show with him and then he passed away over a year later. So did COVID in that world? Yeah. I have one of his kids too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't have, now, you want me to pose that question, I thought? What do you build? Do you build? Do you build to compete? Do you build to complete? Or do you build, like, what's your motivation? Or you can give people think about it. Yeah. No, I won't be here. I won't be here. Kara won't be here. Duncan won't be here. Bill won't be here. We're all competing. But I don't build to compete. I don't. I build to build. I do, but that's the difference. So I don't, I get the usual, you know what, excited, but my results really are like, someone showed appreciation, that's it. But I was a member of the Hot Wheels Club. I still have. That's nice. All right, guys, well, last call for tickets, support your club. So, Robert was a little tardy, so we're gonna give him a few minutes to talk about the SS John Brown.
Need a minute.
Minute? Okay, then that's all you're gonna get. Here you go.
I just need a
We'll
minute.
draw it right after he talks.
Here's this funny
Good.
thing.
Just hold it with you.
It works. What's the little button for on the sign?
It means it's on.
Oh.
You just have to hold it.
Okay.
Push the button.
These are tickets. It costs you $5 to have some. These are precious, all right? They have an immediate infinite return on them. I know, all right. I'm promoting, stuff, absolutely. All right, this is the, now you just stick that like that. That's John Brown. John Brown was some sort of American patriot of some type or other, I'm not sure what. But a Liberty ship was named after him. And this is my build this summer. We have a competition, don't we? We're gonna build something.
Yep.
So I'm gonna build this, and it's an interesting little kit. You take it out of there, there's the usual instructions, all right? Lots of pictures. Quite different from my British brass instructions, which are all text and very, very, very few drawings. And this comes with an infinite number of little plastic bits that get glued on. It's again quite different from building a brass locomotive, because the brass locomotive you solder the bits on and you can handle it. If you handle one of these, you know what happens, right? The little bits start to come off really quickly. So they don't make good locomotives and wagons, but they do make excellent display. So that's what I have. I have a series of display of boats 1 to 350. This, of course, is the lower part of the hull. You notice it's kind of red oxide, but I spray it anyway. And then this is the upper part of the hull, and that all goes together. It's 1 to 350. It matches the one I brought aircraft carriers in the last time. You guys in the back, pay attention. This is on the test on Thursday. You should know. You should know. Anyway, that's it. Any questions? No, that's very good. Thank you very much. We're moving on. Yeah.
Abolitionist, he was pumped.
Yes.
Harper's Ferry.
His body lies a moldering in the ground. He was pumped.
On ground body.
Not, you know, like, hey, Mrs. Brown, we're like. The Harper's Ferry.
He was pumped.
Not well.
By the neck until.
First ticket
Blue.
is blue. Ends in 721.
Me. So,
over here.
so 21 is in there.
Robert,
Okay, would you put it again?
you have four choices. 50% of the cash or one of these three lovely prizes here. Including a set of US Navy camouflage paint and cassette, a Russian color modulation set.
I'll take the money.
There you go. Thank you very much. Next winner, dig a little deeper. Is 668. Peter. Here you go. Over finger cross. And over the puck pad. Will be 712. Hey, me. Right. Sorry, just give me your ticket.
Look what I'm taking, Frank.
I gotta charge Frank. Next thing will probably be mine, 613. That's good, he never wins any. There you go. So that's it, all prizes are accounted for. Perfect, thank you very much. Thank you to Carrie and Greg for bringing in the additional prizes. Tommy, Frank. What? I don't think it was right. You're gonna go Arbor. Thank you. So, remind me that you got it. Let's try and put on a paper. So we don't, like I said, we don't have anything. One thing we talked about was maybe to think about we're doing our summer build contest. So I know Robert's got one going. I brought one in. The big question is what's the motivation for building, right? You build to complete a kit, you build to compete with a kit, right? We did my podcast, if anyone listens to that, we talked about mental health and the benefits to mental health for modeling. We all know about Operation Vet Build. Americans, the Brits, like every Commonwealth country pretty much got an vet build. I think the Dutch have one too. So, you know, and the benefits of the hobby are apparent to those of us who do it. I see some studies at the University of Indiana or Illinois, one of the I's, had a study where they talked about that. The funny meme that's going around is that the average person spends $200 on a hobby every year. That's really so that's to my wife. I got the stink eye. So, but just to think about, right? Like, what's the motivation to build? Like, for some people, you know, is it a mental health thing? I mean, I got back into it because it's stressful and great hobby to get back into, help mitigate stress. Even though building a Dragon Hummel is very stressful, Mr. White. I'm warning you now. Buy aftermarket tracks.
I like building my tracks.
Probably so. Well,
Wait. He's admitted to mental health.
we'll talk,
issues
Gavin.
already.
We'll talk. I'll give you some pointers. Yeah. Yeah, but like, what's, you know, we've been talking in the hobby about that. Why do people? Some people, like I've got some people I know, and they are fiercely competitive. Their whole point, their whole raison d'etre is, I like building models, going, flipping them around, right? And for those of us who go to shows, he's nodding, right? You see the exact same kits at Torcan, Capcom, our show, AirCatCon, like they, you know, there's a rotation that goes on, and you know, we all know those people that love and hey, that's what you're doing, perfect. It's your game, right? Or do you do it because you get to hang out with a bunch of, you know, old farts like us? Now that Kevin and son are gone, I guess, you know, or like I build because I find the subject matter interesting, and I like to build complete. And I compete only because I go shopping at shows, really. I mean, come on. IPMS National, 458 vendor tables. Like, sweet or not, like the car's going to be burning my path. So, but no, he's a camper. We have lots.
I know, but you gotta remember yourself. Remember yourself.
I'm also bringing back some Cambodians working my sweatshop, making models.
Yeah.
Because allegedly I have one of those going on
Good luck.
too. Anyway, just something to think about, right? Like we did a little, we're doing our little summer contest just to get guys to go out and build a bit.
We have our 1-year build, which is still going on. I know on the national level, I talked to Alan a lot. He's a very, he's an easy person to talk to say the least. So doesn't build enough apparently, but doesn't have enough time to build. But we talked about those things like the motivation. We're trying to get more engagement on a national level. I talked about trying to create that virtual chapter like we do here with our Kevin and Ed who show up with the others, especially on our Raybus night. About getting that virtual chapter for these guys that are out in the middle of nowhere. I think I think it's like more than half of our national members are not within any disability club. They're all on their own. So by giving them this as an opportunity to connect, I think it's kind of nice to share. And, just trying to figure out. Sorry, everyone's not figure out, but just see what everyone's motivations are. Like we know Ron's a tinkerer. He likes to scale things, but Ron's a tinkerer. And if you give him something that's different, well, now let me see how I can do that one. Right? That's Ron's motivation is just he's busy, he's a tinker, he likes that he's creative. And I think that's the best thing about the hobby is we come from different directions to do something that we all mutually enjoy. And again, the fact that, again, the variety of what's going on here is pretty cool. I have to say, we have a new club. Actually, we brought in a new group. Fourth Lakes is now a member of IPMS Canada. And holy crap, their webpage and their club meetings are quite very engaged. Their webpage is very nice. There's been rumors that we should get them to do our national webpage, but that's another story. But they even, they even do a dinner before the club meeting. They get together somewhere for a bite before they go to the club meeting. Well, yeah. Well, there's the landscapers and the cleaners. Exactly. So anyway, that was just something we had talked about for conversation. We're done. We did not have a guest speaker. It was a little bit of, we were all kind of gone. Well, Jeff was traveling the world, visiting museums all over Eastern Ontario and Western United States. I don't know where you were. Halifax. Stewart's taking care of Mrs. Stewart. I had a head injury. That was fun. Nothing happened.
But you didn't have to go to this.
Yeah, Devin mentioned that the Oshkosh, the air show that's going on. It's kind of cool. I'm going to go and see if I can find Trump since they're having their convention at the same time.
I don't have enough mail. You are not allowed to bring any high-powered weapons across the border.
I was thinking of bringing his press release lady with me. It was pretty cute to watch it. Are you doing a 70-second scale?
Yeah.
So are you starting it?
It started.
Okay, because I have a buddy in the UK who's got the same kit, right? The Revell Snowberry. And because the aftermarket is hard to find, he's in the process, like he's had it out, the propellers. Yeah, that's a bitch to find. Yeah, I doubt it. It's hard to find even on eBay. Yeah. So what's his name? Kev is going to be doing all the guns, everything. So if it's proceeding, I mean, if you slow down on it, let me know. And if the STLs come in. Yeah. Yeah.
My U-boat is patiently waiting for it.
Nobody saw the kit for years, right? I picked up the Snowberry. Thank you, Jeff, because I got that from a end of life sale. And then I got a Snowberry. Then Kevin dropped the trigger and he paid a lot more. He paid about 140 pounds for his Snowberry, just the base kit, same as mine. You've got one. And I looked for the aftermarket. So he was just like, oh, bloody hell. So he's making it all, masks, everything. I paid 100 and that's why I bought it, because I'm never gonna find it for $100. He does. I wonder how much. Yeah. Because you have a 144 at your store. Yeah.
There's the Great Lakes Museum. Has a 148.
Yep. Yeah, it is. Well, I got lucky because somebody gave me the book that's got the engineering drawings for the Snowberry, well, for the Corvette. So I scanned them and sent them off to my buddy Kev. That's what he's using. So. Bring him in. Yeah. I'll bring it in. I'll take him. I'm sure.
If you can bring it in on USB, I can copy it. Here.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, Jeff, pictures on the group website. That's for the, it's her, send right to you.
Yeah.
Okay, like email? Thank you very much.
Oh, and just plug the podcast for a minute. In a week and a half, Monday, we're having with Frank Bullock, he's the new owner of Fine Scale Modeler.
Oh, nice.
American Media. I'm looking forward to it. He had an interview with some of the train guys. Some very positive things coming out for the title. So I'm assuming hopefully you'll get the same.
I've only been listening when you've had your fantastic guest host.
Yeah. Oh,
Guest host.
yes. Oh, you mean
Oh, never.
what's his name?
Yeah, so I'm probably like, I don't know, I'll report back. Well, we'll report back to you for Nats. Nobody from the cast. Is Anthony going? No. So we'll post back on that.
Gary's not here.
Yeah. So anyway, it's my first time. I know Carrie, you and Duncan and the boys have gone a lot to Nats.
Yeah.
It's well worth the trip. Yeah. And I, like I said, I was talking to Hearn yesterday. We have a Canada night set up, but he said they were at 1,060, all pre-registered. And he figures if we get the usual knuckleheads that show up at the last minute, 300-400, he goes, it's going to possibly be one of the biggest. So. No, I will. Yeah, and curds and pizza. God knows what else. Good thing I'm not lactose intolerant. Anyway, that's it, gentlemen. Yes, Steve. Yep. It's the Aquino weekend, yeah. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next month when we're under the polar vortex.
Is that it? Can we leave now?